This third round recap of the U.S. Open is presented by the all-new TaylorMade Tour Response Golf Ball Tour DNA, less money. Defending U.S. Open champ Jon Rahm went to 18 with the lead, but then crumbled. Driving to the bunker, duffed his second shot, third shot into the greenside bunker, ended up with a double. Now, before Rahm, he had birdied 3 of his previous 4 holes. He's only 1 shot off the lead, chasing 2 guys who are chasing their first major, Will Zalatoris and Matt Fitzpatrick. Zalatoris up 15 spots on the leaderboard, Fitzpatrick up some 12 spots. Both tied at 4 under par. There are 7 players within 3 shots. Zalatoris with the round of the day, carded at 367. Brilliant up and down on 18 to save par. Matt Fitzpatrick had a chance to take the solo lead on 18, but bogeyed his final hole. 1 month ago, Zalatoris lost to Justin Thomas in a playoff at the PGA Championship. Meantime, reigning Masters champ Scottie Scheffler, who at one point had the lead, had an up and down day. Holed out on 8 for eagle, but then doubled 11, bogeyed 12, 13, and 14, but he's only 2 shots back at 2 under par. 7 players within 3 shots, including Rory McIlroy, who's at 1 under par, and Sam Burns as well. But the leader is Will Zalatoris and Matt Fitzpatrick, and the favorite going into the final round is Matt Fitzpatrick at plus 330. Speaking of favorites, it's welcome to CBS Sports HQ golf analyst Kyle Porter and the host of the First Cut podcast, Rick Gehman, who joined us from the U.S. Open in Brookline, Massachusetts. Defending U.S. Open champ Jon Rahm went to 18 with the lead, crumbled, driving to the bunker, duffed his second shot, third shot in the greenside bunker, ended with a double there. Rick, was Rahm too aggressive? What happened?
No. Jon Rahm only has one setting, and it is very aggressive, especially with driver in hand, and he should be. He's the best driver that we have on tour. He was phenomenal on Saturday, and a little miss on 18 shows you what the country club can do. You get out of position for just 1 second, and there are bogeys lurking. There's obviously double bogeys out there, but that's the only blemish, right? Jon Rahm, we were kind of talking about it in the media center. Every shot I saw him hit basically on the back 9, I was thinking, Jon Rahm's going to win this tournament.
Yeah.
Jon Rahm's going to win this tournament, and he coughs up 2 there on his final hole of the day, but I don't feel any different. He's still just trying to track down 2 guys who have 0 PGA Tour wins and obviously 0 majors.
Yeah, I followed him, Rick, over the last 3 or 4 holes that he played, and it felt like Ryder Cup Rahm.
Yeah.
Remember when he kind of just put the European team on his back? Didn't get very far with them, but he was unbelievable at that Ryder Cup last year at Whistling Straits, and it feels like when he goes into this sort of beast mode that he can get in, it feels over a lot of times. Now, I was surprised by 18, by leaving it in the bunker, hitting it into the front bunker after that. And really, it didn't make me think that differently about Rahm. I think he's going to contend and be competitive and potentially go on to win on Sunday. But it did make me think differently about the end of this tournament, that once you get past 16, 17, and get into 18, you're not past all the trouble yet, right? We've seen majors over the last couple of years where once you get to 18, you might be okay, you might be home free. That's not going to be the case here on Sunday at the Country Club. So it was maybe a little bit of foreshadowing for the way the leaders finish up on Sunday afternoon as the 122nd U.S. Open closes out.
Yeah, before he doubled 18, he had birdied 3 of his previous 4. So aggressive, the right setting indeed, Rick, for Jon Rahm, the defending U.S. Open champ. Just 1 shot off the lead, chasing 2 guys, Rick, as you mentioned, who are looking for their first PGA Tour win, but really in this spot looking for their first major title. Will Zalatoris and Matt Fitzpatrick. Zalatoris up 15 spots on the leaderboard, Fitzpatrick up 12. Rick, as golf fans, we've been rooting for Zalatoris to win a major. He's gotten close multiple times. What would it mean for him to break through and win his first major title there at Brookline, Massachusetts at the Country Club?
Yeah, I think it'd be a really fun kind of point at the end of, not at the end, but of this story that is Will Zalatoris.
Yeah.
Remember, he had a top 10 finish at Winged Foot at that U.S. Open, and that essentially got him his tour card because he was able to take that top 10, play again the following week, and he kept piling up these top 10s until he had enough points to earn himself the special temporary membership. He goes on to convert that to full PGA Tour status. So it would be kind of cool for it to start at a U.S. Open and kind of solidify his resume at a U.S. Open as well. And when you look at what he did on Saturday, it's almost like he was playing a different golf course. That 3 under 67 gains a ton of shots to the field. The only concern that I would have, Kyle, is that he led the field in putting on Saturday. And we know the one weakness is Will Zalatoris' flat stick. If he puts anything like he did on Saturday, on Sunday, it's game over.
Yeah, it is game over. I was really impressed by anybody shooting 67 on Saturday. I think it's difficult to tell maybe on TV how cold and windy it is out here. Zalatoris got in a little bit ahead of some of the heavier wind, but it was an extraordinarily difficult day. The USGA did, I thought, a really good job of setting up the golf course, and they got difficult conditions because of the weather. Because I mean, even now it's really cold and really windy out here. And it becomes a difficult golf course, and you see guys that are great ball strikers like Will Zalatoris rise to the top. And so if we get those same conditions on Sunday, I think he's going to have a real chance to go out and win his first major championship.
All right, let's talk about the guy he's tied with, Matt Fitzpatrick, Kyle. Matt Fitzpatrick is the favorite, believe it or not, to win at plus 330. Kyle, what would have to happen for him to pull this off?
Well, I think Matt Fitzpatrick is in a really good position here, Hakeem. And the reason why, Rick, is because he hasn't putted that well yet. Matt Fitzpatrick is one of the better putters in the world. He's been a kind of field average in terms of his putting. And, you know, I don't know about you, but I'm really impressed by what Fitzpatrick has done over the last, we'll say 18 months, 12 months, something like that. He's really improved in every facet of his game. He's gained speed off the tee. He's always been a really good short game player. He obviously won the U.S. Amateur here back in 2013. And the thing that I was thinking about today is, remember that Arnold Palmer Invitational a couple years ago at Bay Hill, where it was really windy like it is right now and really cold, and Fitzpatrick just played some of the best golf that he's ever played. He didn't end up winning that tournament, but he played extraordinarily well, and that's what today reminded me of. And he's hitting the ball as well as anybody in this field. I think that there's a reason that he's the favorite. It's because I really think he could go out and win on Sunday.
Yeah, and while he doesn't have a PGA Tour victory, he does have a handful of wins on the European Tour, which certainly go a long way when you get yourself in the heat of the battle. But Kyle, you're right. I mean, this has been brewing for 12 or 18 months. He's been piling up top 10 finishes, top 20 finishes in some of the strongest fields that we have in golf. He's made tangible gains with the driver. He's now much longer than he used to be, that kind of small, wiry frame. He's able to move the ball like some of his larger peers, and he kind of does it his own way, right? We know that he charts every single shot that he hits. He keeps his own strokes gained, essentially, which I love, and he does the cross-handed grip around the greens. He just doesn't care what it looks like. He's just going to go out there and put the ball in the cup.
U.S. Open conditions always tough. You guys just talked about it. Got cold out there on Saturday for two guys that usually are in nice, warm conditions. Kyle, what do you expect the scoring conditions to be like on Sunday?
I think they'll be a little bit easier. Usually we get Saturday as kind of the toughest day of a U.S. Open. I think the scoring average rose to about 73.5 today, which was 3.5 over par, and by far the toughest day because you kind of got rid of the bad half of the field, if you will. So that scoring average would have been even higher if that half of the field would have been it's still at the U.S. Open. So I think we'll get easier conditions on Sunday. I don't expect it to be quite as windy or cold. And I think the USGA will set it up to where guys can go out and maybe some more gettable pins than we saw. I mean, I was watching on 17 right over here, Rick. That pin on the back shelf, you've got like a three foot window that you can land it in when you're hitting your approach shot. So it's just the USGA, I think, will set it up a little bit easier on Sunday than they did on Saturday.
Yeah, I don't think the USGA wants to be the storyline, right? They want this to be played out on the golf course. They've got an unbelievable leaderboard of some of the game's biggest stars and the next generation of stars, and they want this to be played out on the golf course. I'm hoping we see number 11 get down into double digits in terms of yardage. Let's put it at 98 yards and see what happens with these guys. So I think it'll be a little bit easier than it was here on Saturday, and they're just going to let the boys play it out and see who wins it.
This is what golf needs. This is what golf needs, Rick and Kyle. You know it. All right, Rick, I know you liked Rahm entering the third round. Does he win back-to-back U.S. Open titles, and what do you think the winning score is going to be?
Yeah, of course he wins back-to-back U.S. Open titles, right? He's been here all week to defend. He was the guy on Thursday night. He was the guy on Friday night. And despite the double bogey on 18, I think he's the guy on Saturday night. He's just absolutely locked in. He's playing like when he was on top of the world and couldn't lose. In terms of scoring, we think it's going to be a little bit easier than it was on Saturday. I think you card something like you get in at 5 under. I'd take that right now. Give me 5 under right now for Jon Rahm. Successfully defends his crown. I think it's pretty fair.
Kyle, how about you?
Yeah, I guess I got to give a pick too.
Yeah.
You want to?
Pick
Let's
one
go.
of the boys, as you call them. I'll go with Will Zalatoris. You know, he's somebody who's played exceptionally well at majors over the last 2 years. He had that runner-up to Hideki Matsuyama at the 2021 Masters. Obviously, the runner-up to Justin Thomas a month ago at the PGA Championship. I love the way he's striking the ball. I think he gets in at even par. And he's at 4 under right now. So I think 4 under wins this golf tournament. I said before it started that it would be 2 under. Thought it'd be a little bit more difficult maybe on Thursday and Friday, just slightly. But I think 4 under is the number, and I think Will Zalatoris gets his first win.
All right, there you go. Kyle Porter and Rick Gehman joining us from the U.S. Open post third round. We'll see you guys on Sunday. Bundle up. I'm sure it'll be a little bit warmer, though, for you. They're in Brookline, Massachusetts. Hey, for more awesome golf content, join Rick Gehman and his crew on the First Cut podcast, a cavalcade of stars, including Kyle Porter. You'll get tournament previews, including DFS picks and analysis. You'll also get round-by-round reaction to each PGA Tour event. You'll get reaction to this third round. First Cut podcast. Download and subscribe today. Hey, scan the QR code on your screen now to check out the new TaylorMade Tour Response golf balls and improve your game today. This third round recap of the U.S. Open is presented by the all-new TaylorMade Tour Response Golf Ball, Tour DNA, less money.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.